Welcome. I'm Doug the Bee Guy.
Today I want to do a video about spring feeding of bees and the importance of feeding your honeybees in the spring, especially if you have inclement weather like we do here in northwest Indiana, where one day it's 50 and the next day it's 36 and rainy, and 2 days later it snows, and then 3 days later it's 70. As you can see in this little clip here, there's daffodils blooming and some of the early flowers, and the maple trees haven't quite started yet. But if you don't feed your bees, they will either starve or it will stunt their early spring growth, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today, and I'm going to show you how I feed my bees. So let's get started.
Okay, today we're going to feed the bees with the sugar syrup and the pollen substitute that we made the other day in the video. There the bees are on this side, none on the other side. That one died out, so we just have half of the bees. And I gave these guys a pollen patty on the 12th of March, which is just about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks, and that's about all that's left of it. So they are hungry. They ate all of it. Just throw that out for the raccoons. And it's temperate today. It's probably about 50 some degrees, but there's no wind, so I'm going to do a quick inspection of this hive, just real quick, to see where they're at. Nah, I'm not going to. They're looking good, and what I really want to see is if they're down in this part. And they are. So that's really all I care about. I want them to go down on that side and stay. So I'm going to smoke them a little bit so that I can put the feeder on them and squish them. So there's the feeder. This is a Fat Bee-Man design feeder. It's a little bit different design than his, but I made it two, and I added these little places where you can put the pollen patty and some ventilation. But it's basically his design with his little thing I bought years ago on the online. I don't know if you can still get the plans for it or not. I'll have to check it out. But I really like them because especially this time of year when the weather's marginal, you can put the syrup in the thing and you can open this up and check your bees with the weather's bad, cold, rainy, snowy, whatever it may be, and you don't have to open the hive up again until the weather is good enough. So here's the 1-to-1 syrup that we made, and I'm just going to fill up their little feeder. This little tray holds about a quart and a half, depending on what size I use. Not as big as I would like, but it's the thing that works for me, and since I have side-by-side hives, I can only do a little bit. And you don't want to do that. But that'll fix itself. I dropped the jar and made a mess. They'll eat it up. But it's good to see all that stuff on the video. It's hard to work with these gloves, but this time of year they're a little testy. I don't like to get stung, so I always wear my protection. Alright, so now I'm going to give them some some of the pollen sub that we made. Of course, I'm all the way out here at the bee yard and I forgot my spatula. So we're just going to have to improvise. And on these, I'm not even going to use this tissue. I'm going to use it just to kind of... I'm just going to put the stuff right on there because there's a real small little place and they can eat it. And they'll heat it up with their heat, and it'll go down through that screen and they can have as much as they want. And then, like I said, I can just check this. I can hump that up on there. Kind of looks like a pile of dog poo, but we know it's really good bee food, and they will eat it. They really like it. So basically, I just got this piece of tissue here to wipe off my hive tool. You can see it's set up quite a bit from when it was very, very liquidy. It's now like thick peanut butter or a very loose dough, and it'll settle down into those holes in the screen, and they'll be able to access it. Let me get the camera here and show you what we got going on here. So that's what I did. I put this little pile of pollen and I filled this tub. I'm not going to put anything on this side because there are no bees alive in this side, so there's no reason to put anything in there. And once the bees smell the syrup, they'll come up in there and start eating it. And we'll check back tomorrow and see what it looks like. Filled that feeder last night, 1 quart of syrup, about I'd say about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and you can see that it's already empty. And they are also chowing down on the pollen. It's sinking down here in the center. As they eat it, it sinks down into the screen. So they are definitely taking the resources and using them. Hopefully we're going to open this up and see for brood. But you can see, even though they're bringing in a massive amount of pollen right now, they are still taking the syrup. And I will continue feeding them until they stop taking it and there's enough nectar for them to go out and forage naturally. Well, if you'd like to become a better beekeeper, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.